favorite book in the Bible was Revelation. And you might have guessed her favorite subject to study was prophecy. In fact, I'm told that she wrote an essay about this. Family was central in her life. She has continually influenced the lives of her children, especially her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. As some of the family were sharing with me, she taught her grandchildren the Ten Commandments and did not hesitate to emphasize certain ones of them that she thought they were in violation of. She taught them right from wrong. Elizabeth Munn was raised a Roman Catholic, but as an adult she began to seek answers. She came to realize that her salvation was not dependent on what she did, but on what Christ did for her on the cross. I spoke to her about her conversion something like 10 years ago, and I have to be honest, I cannot remember the details of what she told me. I do know that she had a profession of faith and shared with me a time when she put her faith and trust in Jesus Christ. Mrs. Munn liked to read the Bible and attend church. She attended recently, and when I say recently, I mean the last 2 decades, Arlington Baptist Church, Grace Bible Baptist Church, and later this church, Calvary Baptist Church. And it is a comfort to know that Elizabeth Munn is with the Lord today. And she was able to pass her faith on to many of the succeeding generations. And we thank the Lord for that legacy of faith that she has left. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, many of you here know her much better than I do. You know her in a personal way. And I want to give opportunity for anyone here to give a remembrance or something that you would like to say about her, the impact that she's had in your life, something that would be helpful for us to better understand. Because this is a little bit of a larger building here, it might be much easier for people here if you were to come up here. But if you're not willing to do that, we'd still like you to try to share something with us right where you are, if you're willing to do that. So is there anyone at this time who would like to give a testimony or remembrance of this event? Michael, go ahead. Come on up here. That's all right. This is Michael Munn, her son, that she's lived with for many years.
I just started to stay out here. My family, and they said I've never met before. Yeah, I was taking care of my mom for the last 6 or so years. And she taught her math up until she was like 80, 81. And for the last 3 years, I found her card collection of her former students. But over the years, she's probably taught over thousands. There's about 160. And I sat for the last 3 days and I called them. Half the numbers didn't work. But I did get quite a few. And I didn't look on the website if it was on funeral home. But I think there was about 3 of the former students that left some comments at that website. And my family just left a few. There's about a dozen of them. My mom was always faithful to her sons. I'm the oldest of 4. She stood by us all the time. And, certain people weren't there that should have been there. That's in the Lord's hands. She was faithful in her teaching. I remember her, we lived on Templeton Road. And she, before she, after she was divorced from my father, she didn't know what to do. And she asked the Lord what to do. And she had, I don't know if it was a dream or what it was, but she said the Lord told her to do that. And she thought, well, I'm not that good at that. So she did that. She finished her last 3 years to finish that last college. Started teaching math. For about a year or two, she wasn't sure what it was. But then she started doing private tutoring on that, and we go to the students' homes. I think she put some ads in some papers back then. And mostly she was teaching a lot of the Jewish kids up in Pikesville. And a lot of them kind of later on in life, she just, when she moved to where the location in 1986 was on Blair Avenue, all the students would come there, and she was teaching at that location. She was tough on them. They said she was tough sometimes. Sometimes you have to do. If they were wasting time on their parents' money, she'd get mad at it. I don't know what to take your parents' money if you're not going to learn. So she lost just a few students because they didn't want to get them to work with them. And she was pretty good. Everyone I thought she was really loved my mom. But she did for their kids. Yesterday I had, there was a man, I forget his name. I called him up. He was actually in Aspen, Colorado. He said, "Yeah, you want to talk to me?" I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I sell pies." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I have a website." So he gave me the name of the website. I said, "What was that?" Honey in the Sky Aspen. And his name is Alex on the call. And I thought that was interesting. And then later, another lady, I got her, usually it's the parents, they're still up these old numbers. It's been over 10, 15 years since those numbers were, she used those numbers, those telephone numbers. And there was one lady, she was 35, and she said, oh, her parents said, "My daughter is a math teacher because of your mother." I thought that was pretty neat. That was the thing. And, yeah, so my mother, she stood by us and helped us in our time of troubles when we had it in life. She took us there for us. I think that's my mom. And for these last 6 years, I've been taking care of her, pretty much 24/7. I lost my job about 4 years ago. So they with her all the time. So everything is needed to take care of themselves in the declining years. And my brother, Greg, he was still with us. He's going through a trial too. He just went through home investigation. And he just got his operation. He was just home from the house a few days before my mother passed. But he was a witness to my mom when she left. And just before I knew something was coming because almost a week before she left, she stopped eating. And she was crying. And she waited for me to get my first Social Security check. She wanted to know I'll be all right. So I was in the 60s. I wasn't sure it was in the account. I waited 3 days. I went there on Friday. She stopped eating on that day. For sure. For a few days, she was hurting a little bit. And then on that Friday, I said, "Mom, it's in there. I gave her my Social Security." And then she stopped taking the water. And for the next 3 days, she was getting ready to go. I said, "Do you want to go to the hospital, Mom?" And she wasn't speaking much. Over the time, she would say, she would call my name out, Michael. And she said, and she was struggling. And she said, "Mommy," to a lot of times. But in that final day on Monday, my brother was there in the chair next to her, and I knew it was getting close, and she didn't move to the hospital. And I was waiting for that money for the next, she had been in a battle the last 2 months. She had been in and out from an infection in her leg, and she was having, and the nurse was coming tomorrow. And I waited. She came, and she almost seemed to rally, and she actually convinced her to take a little bit of applesauce, just a little bit, and then she left, and then immediately she started going downhill, and her eyes got a little glassy. And she said, and it was at 11:30 on Monday, the 21st, that I walked home and lied down for a little bit to come out and check on her. And my brother, a few minutes back, 8 minutes later, at about 11:38, my brother came to the door and said, "Come out, something's happened, Bob." And I came out, and then I looked across the room, and she was gone. And she wasn't there. So I went over and I checked her and double-checked her, not she. So, I took care of all that. It was probably the next day my brother admitted that he actually witnessed what took. And he said, "You looked over, Mom." everything. Look at like this. Well, Grandma, come to see it like this. And he told me that. I said, don't you realize, why don't you wait until today to tell me that she was looking at the kingdom of heaven opening before her eyes, and she was prepared to go with Jesus. And I know that's where she is now. And I thank God for that. And I'll leave it here at that point. Okay? Thank you, family. If you ever despair of knowing what the truth is, that Jesus Christ is the God of creation, that He's the one that you have to rest your trust in, that's who you need to rest your trust in. Because He holds your soul in His hands. He holds everyone's soul in His hands, and He will bring everyone forth one day. So make sure that you're prepared to meet the Lord when the time comes. But I'm looking for the rapture of the church, which I believe is very near. That's the Lord of God. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to share something this time?
We're going to sing number 573. Number 573, a hymn that speaks of